What is going on, Internet? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. Let's dive into this. So, Washington has just signed. This actually happened while I was editing and posting a video talking about all the stuff Washington has done this offseason so far. And I was talking about who would get a receiver. So, you're probably going to hear a little bit of that in the last video, and I'm just going to sum up something on this. I don't dislike Curtis Samuel. It was never any intention of saying that he's not a good player. I mean, last year I've looked at his stats and everything. He had over 1,000 all-purpose yards on a team that the ball is pretty well shared on that team, and he didn't really have a great quarterback. So adding him to this team is only going to make our offense better. So I am very happy to announce that the Washington football team has added Curtis Samuel to the Washington football team as an extra receiver. He's probably going to play slot, but he might play the two in some situations. My original thought process was, the reason why I was talking about not getting him, it wasn't because he's not good. It's because I thought Washington would want to get a big receiver to kind of take, so teams couldn't key on McLaurin, and they'd have to play both of them on us. Another close to a one like Kenny Galladay or Juju Smith-Schuster. And then in the draft, in the 4th or 5th round, we can still get a speed guy, and like Amari Rogers or Marquez Stevenson are two really good ones that I think we can get in the late third, early 4th round, maybe as late as the 5th round. It's a deep receiving draft, so that's why I thought getting Curtis Samuel was not the best option. But regardless, I'm happy he's on the team. It's making our team look so much better now offensively. When you look at it, we have a solid running game and a solid running back in Gibson. We're going to see what Bryce Love is, and we still have J.D. McKissick. We have 2 solid receivers for sure, and then we have some guys that we have Gandy-Golden and Harmon and Sims are all going to compete for that extra spot. I don't think Sims is going to be in the mix like Steven Sims. Then we have tight ends. We have Logan Thomas. And if Thaddeus Moss comes off his foot injury and looks anywhere near close to what he was in LSU, we're going to look at a pretty solid offense. And it doesn't matter who's quarterbacking. It doesn't matter if it's Ryan Fitzpatrick or if it's Taylor Heineke. Either one of them is going to have a pretty solid season at quarterback with that amount of weapons if we can stay healthy. And also our offensive line is looking pretty darn good. And I think we're still going to draft an offensive lineman to add to that, maybe an extra receiver as a bigger target. But yeah, we have a couple guys that didn't get like Antonio Gandy-Golden didn't get any kind of training camp. So for all we know, he's our number 2 receiver, and we just hasn't had a chance to show it yet, and he hasn't been developed enough because he missed we didn't have an off season last year like we usually do, where you have time to develop rookies before your actual start training camp for the season. So we just don't know that. But Curtis Samuel definitely adds to that. Let me zoom out of this. I zoomed in just so that it looking better. There we go. And so we signed Curtis Samuel. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. Oh, too much there. Right there. Okay. So Curtis Samuel, we signed up for 3 years, $34 million. Basically, that's 11.3 repeating $1 million a year. Not going to be upset about that. The market value for him on Sport Track was about $12.5 million. We got him under market value. I think we gave him more guaranteed money than he would have gotten anywhere else. But I'm not going to be mad at all. That's a good contract. 3 years. If he sucks after 2, we can easily dump him. And it's not going to cost us that much money. We can move on from him very easily. If he's good, we can re-sign him and extend him after 3 years. By then, we're going to have whatever our franchise quarterback is, whether it's we trade for Darnold or whether we trade up in the draft or whether we just draft someone next year. Whatever the case may be, we'll have our new quarterback by then. So we'll kind of gauge that when we get to it. But yeah, Curtis Samuel. So what is he going to add to our team? Well, first, he's going to add a legit deep threat. We thought last year Steven Sims, and the year before that, Steven Sims was our deep threat. He actually had a decent run in 2 years ago with Dwayne Haskins and not Colt McCoy, Case Keenum. He actually had a pretty decent run, but last year he regressed, and his returning on punts wasn't very good. So there's a lot of reasons as to why he just did not pan out, Steven Sims. So he will play Steven Sims in the slot, and I think he'll split time maybe with Isaiah Wright. And it also takes a little bit of edge off of whoever our number 2 receiver is at the other split, and also it's going to take a little bit of edge off of McLaurin, because you're not going to be able to send a guy over top of McLaurin because you got to worry about getting beat deep by Curtis Samuel. And Fitzpatrick will sling that ball deep, trust me. There's some things I don't like about Fitzpatrick, but something he will do is he will throw that ball deep, and if you give Curtis Samuel an opportunity to get behind the safety, they're going to have to play safeties deep now, because McLaurin and Curtis Samuel can beat you deep. McLaurin can beat you on like in between routes. He can beat you everywhere. Hopefully, Curtis Samuel adds to his game. He can actually be used pretty well in the running game. Last year, he had 851 total receiving yards. He had only like 3 touchdowns. But that's his lowest touchdown output he's had in the last few years. I think Teddy Bridgewater was a result of that. Teddy Bridgewater is very good at moving the football, but he's not too good at putting the ball in the end zone. So that probably had something to do with it. Not to mention they're more of a running team anyway with McCaffrey. I know McCaffrey was hurt last year, so they were focusing on running. Who was their running back they had? I don't recall the running back. I'm not going to worry about it, but I don't recall the running back they used. I think I used him in fantasy for a couple games. But yeah, Curtis Samuel. And he also had another 200 rushing yards. So he definitely is effective in on the football field at both passing and rushing. So we can easily incorporate him. And this is the graphic that I wanted to like really use. If I did like a better video, it's probably gonna be the picture for the video probably. So yes, welcome to the Burgundy and Gold, Curtis Samuel. We still have a lot of things we can still do with the team. Adding him drops us down to about $10 million in cap space now. So I still say we should cut Landon Collins. That's just me. Sign Carl Joseph. He's played under Jack Del Rio before. He knows the system. He knows his calls. He knows all the things he needs. And him alongside Cameron Curl will be 2 very, very solid safeties that I think could play for a couple years. Along in the second, in the corners we have now are just amazing, and we have a good defensive line. And then we just got to focus on drafting and potentially signing some form of linebackers. We have linebackers on the roster if we really want to go that route. Cole Holcomb can still play. John Bostic can still play. Khalid Hudson might be someone we use, and that might be someone we utilize as a linebacker. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about Curtis Samuel. It was no way, shape, or form was meant that I thought Curtis Samuel wasn't good. I was just looking schematically at a different scheme and a different strategy to use him, or to use like adding talent. But in no way do I think adding him makes us worse. It makes us way better. It adds a lot more dynamics to our offense, and I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see him in the Burgundy and Gold. Absolutely welcome to DC. Welcome to Washington. And that's my video. I want to thank everyone for chiming in for a few minutes. Please like, share, subscribe, and hail to the Redskins. See you.